Did you ever hear David Icke, Alex Jones, Jordon Maxwell, Michael Zarian and many other speakers and asked what are they saying? Can someone scratch the basics? These speakers talk to such an advanced level that if you have not studied alternative history, you stand no chance of understanding their speech. This video will do just that. We will scratch the basics and explore politics to a level so simple that if possible even a child can understand. I'd like to introduce this presentation with a quote from The Matrix by the character Morpheus. The Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. But when you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters. The very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inured, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it. In this presentation we'll talk about the system's control grid and how the people that foist it upon us are subdivided. Here is an image that depicts, as I call it, the hexagram of control with the basis if it being money. It consists of government, banking, labor, religion, education and health. In the case of the USA they have the military. In any country the grid consists of 6 subdivisions as minimum. If any one of these tentacles were missing, then humanity would be able to take benefit from this deficiency. Let's say the medical industry were free. Then lies similar to there is no cure for cancer would not be part of the agenda. As soon as ADT were found to be the cause of a lot of AIDS symptoms, then it would stop being administered. The medical industry needs money and people dependent upon it to survive. There is always a painkiller but never a cure. The medical industry is masterminded by the Knights of Freemasonry. We shall explain this later on. These people add and remove to the knowledge of the medical industry in order to keep the parameters I mentioned earlier. All the other tentacles of this hexagram are exactly in the same predicament. Education favors the establishment. They create parrots instead of thinkers, and with some research you will know about the other 4. Here is an overview of the subdivision of politics. These are the slaves, the politicians, the master bankers and the elite. The groups in the upper 2 boxes are the master class or the first world. The people in the lower 2 boxes are the middle class or the second world. The people in poor countries are the third world. These people have their resources stolen and are deprived of education in order to prevent them from ever using them. Here is another image with an explanation of their role in our society. Let's begin with the slaves. Even though this term might not be so soothing, we are looked upon as cattle, fnords and other offensive terms in comparison to which the word slaves is very respectful. See the Protocols of Zion for more insights. The slave is the worker who does things out of his appreciation to serve the system in order to survive and to preserve his family. This is much of the people you see around you and in the streets. There are people who enjoy their jobs, but these are in the distinct minority. Their smile is soon wiped off as new taxes get implemented between a budget and another. The politicians are front ends. They negotiate with the bankers on how the bankers' needs can be fulfilled, appearing loyal to the public at the same time. Choice? As the Merovingian says, choice is an illusion portrayed by those who have power over those who don't. When any one of the 2 squares gets in power, he suffers an amnesia and does what his superiors say in spite of everything. This is called the Hegelian dialect. As long as people are stuck psychologically between a party and another, the banker will rule unquestioned and unopposed. The master bankers, the bankers you see at the bank or on TV, are almost never master bankers. The master banker normally would not even be a citizen of the nation he financially controls. The banker is a financial head of state in disguise. He masterminds the governments appointed to him by the elites, and not a single cent gets into the government or the people's pockets out of his oversight. Bankers form secret societies. We always hear a great fanfare about the European Union but never about the Bilderberg Group, who are the mind behind the European Union. When the media covers both them and their elite overlords, they are presented with false identities that protect the parameters they set for themselves and cover what they do behind closed doors. Mainly the activities the master bankers and their overlords do between themselves in secret are referred to as Illuminist Freemasonry. The elite are landowners. People are misinformed about governmental ownership and financial ownership. A country can be independent governmentally but dependent financially. Ask yourself this question: do people decide on the value and amount of money in circulation? If the answer is no, then your country is neither independent nor was it ever. Your knowledge of your country being independent is just a smokescreen to keep you quiet. Behind their decorative regalia and perfect manners and the protocols they set for themselves, there are the most whitewashed Pharisees in our society. As long as they have the bankers running their affairs, they will always appear as the most exemplary antichrists in our society. There is a veil of sanctimoniosity around each and every one of them, and their appearance is that of mere figureheads. Make no mistakes about them. These people cause wars, financial collapses, governmental corruption, the mafia, and they are responsible of every non-natural evil in our society. After the Great Depression in 1939, the gold standard has been abolished and the value of money is now entirely in the government and in the bankers' hands. While the gold standard was in practice, people could decide on how much gold gets in their coffers. If more gold was in the coffers, the money had more value and less of it was needed in circulation, and the opposite was true. This made the control by the elite over money mainly a question of rules. Nowadays people are secret societies decide on the value of money. Whatever you buy using modern-day money is not bought from the government but to the government. So the government not only has the right to tax you at will but even has the right to confiscate your property if necessary. That's because property is a political illusion foisted on the slaves. How can we stop this madness? First and foremost, this video need to be spread as far and wide as possible and even downloaded and uploaded. The creator of this video desires to keep anonymous and gives free distribution and embedding permissions. You can now learn from any of the speakers I spoke about in the introduction and spread the word to others. There is nothing a politician fears more than floating voters, especially well-informed. Stop partisanship. It's not a game of football anymore. The future of your children is at stake. Thanks for watching.